They nearly lost everything and came back to become one of Arizona's biggest cannabis brands.
I look at that person on the video, you literally have no idea what's about to transpire.
6 years ago, CannaCribs walked into a small Arizona grow with a big reputation, an even bigger obsession, quality above everything. That grow was Grow Sciences. And now we're back. What started as a modest facility has grown into nearly 100,000 square feet. But the road here wasn't smooth. They came close to losing everything, nearly went bankrupt, and somehow fought their way back to become one of the most dominant cannabis brands in Arizona. So we came back to see what 6 years of pressure, growth, and survival really look like. Oh, and if you're not a subscriber yet, please consider joining our channel. It really helps keep the lights on here over at CannaCribs. So we're here at Grow Sciences for round 2. It's 5 years later and they are 5 times as big. Let's go see the evolution of one of the greatest cannabis brands in the state of Arizona. Matt,
We're back.
round 2.
You look old, bro.
I just went to the optometrist, had to get glasses. I am old. You look older.
We got old.
2019, we were at Grow Sciences. Came out in 2020.
Oh my gosh.
Now it's 2025. We're back at Grow Sciences, and you guys have.
We're still here. We're still here.
You've not only you're still here, you guys are extremely dominant as a brand in Arizona, and you're expanding into other states even. Yeah. You guys truly operate in this unique space in this Arizona market. That's why we're here, that's why we're filming. You guys have created something special, not only with the product that leads into the brand, which leads into the way that you communicate with the Arizona community. Like, you guys do drops, and you'll have thousands of people go to, because you guys are coming out with something that's special.
I have always been about cannabis. Cannabis has been just a major part of my life. The mission statement of Grow Sciences has always kind of deeply resonated with me. You know, you walk into our original building, you'll see a large vinyl on the wall, and it basically just says, "Would you buy this eighth?" And I think that kind of embodies everything that we do, why we go through the lengths that we go through. At the end of the day, like, I just want to be able to grab an eighth and show someone and be like, "Look, check this out." You know, when you kind of have this singular mission where it's like, you know, you just want to have good weed in your life, everyone starts to kind of row in the same direction, because that's generally what everybody wants.
Back then, you were watching yourself and you were probably saying, you don't even know what you're gonna be going through for the next half a decade.
None of us were prepared for the world to change. We basically had never expanded, and it was absolute pandemonium, you know, when rec hit here.
Rec went through in 2020 in Arizona.
Correct.
At that point in time, you guys were in a what size facility?
20,000.
And where are we at now?
98,000. Yeah, no, it exploded. We risked it all.
You almost went bankrupt in 2020?
Well, they don't allow us to declare bankruptcy because
Yeah.
it's, you know, not federally legal. So in cannabis, you actually just have to it's like student loan debt. You just suffer through it and they own you. We came very, very close to closing. Wow, I'm getting my ass kicked. Like, we have a pretty big brand in Arizona. Our building was 11 months late opening. The note holders don't wait. They're like, yeah, sounds good. I hope you open. Where's my money? You know, and you know, so you gotta pay them. When we built the building out, you know, pounds were 2,800, and we never expected that to stay. You know, we forecasted 50% drops, 60% drops. We didn't forecast 80% drops. And, you know, when we came on market, you know, basically pounds were 700, 600. And it's like, cost that to grow a pound of good cannabis, right? And basically that pigeonholed us into everything has to exit as a packaged good.
So Kirk, after working at so many of these very large multi-state, even multi-country operations and coming to work here, what do they do differently growing cannabis at Grow Sciences versus those other companies?
You know, I think that there's a really strict adherence to the fundamentals. I think the larger you get, the more disconnected you get.
you love leaning on what you've done in the past that works. Like I went in this facility, you're running HPS, in flour, just because
I'm a one-trick pony. I'm a one-trick pony. We've tried it all.
Yeah.
I have my formula that I believe in. I have my style that I believe in. It's what we're gonna do because it's what I know. And when we stick to that, we can crush it.
Really what my passion was just stay into growing the highest quality cannabis with the least amount of chemicals, the least amount of inputs, trying to produce what we would do at home, but on a larger scale. Having that care where every plant matters, every plant, every day. You're really addressing every plant's needs. Every building, every grow is different. Every room can be different in a facility. It's just learning what works for you, learning what works in those areas. Just because someone has success with a program in genetics in a different building doesn't mean that you can replicate that success. You just have to know your building and really just listen to the heartbeat of the garden. Don't be afraid to keep trialing. How do we make these plants as happy as possible? And that has always been our step. Every plant, every day is our motto in cultivation. How do we serve every plant every day and make sure that they have what they need?
I'm back on my original formula for Canna that I've been using since 2003. I've been with this company a long time, so I believe in their products. I use them.
So you think about, okay, well, how did we end up back with Canna? Some would say we never quite left. It's just more performance. Resin per square foot is up. Rosin per square foot is up. The flower's odoriferous. The density and the structure of glands, the amount of essential oil content. You can look at COAs. If you side by side, take sherbet cream pie off of maybe a contemporary ag line, and then you take our sherbet cream pie off of our Canna, our teas, some of our other additives that we incorporate. You get this mouth coat. The kind of lingers, right? Our actual resin and rosin per foot is materially higher, to the point where it's like, biomass per square foot is like really not that important. For us, it's more like, what's your A's per foot? How many eighths are you getting out of that section? If it's in late flower, you should smell the room. You mentioned that earlier. You're like, oh, it smells like an OG room. The flower, you should have a profound and unique profile off that flower, inches from your nose. You smell the flower after a good run on the program we're on today, and you can tell we're on the right track.
People don't really know how expensive it is to film one of these episodes.
Well, because it doesn't factually make sense. Why does it cost tens of thousands of dollars to do everything?
They kind of think we film it on like an iPhone or something. It's an art. We try and stay authentic to the creative process.
Authenticity is absolutely everything. This is from the 6 years ago we talked about this, so we're not gonna sell out for this stuff.
I can't sell out. If I had to just totally sell out, I think I'd stop doing this. We'd just stop making CannaCribs. Just a normal day in the office. My skin, it's a lot better after hanging out in a tote of PK for a day.
I'm running on 30 on the dash. Yeah, we riding slow.
3, 2, 1.
Look at all this cash. Yeah, we riding slow. Gotta watch this one be passed. Money in the air like you really don't care. Oh yeah. But that money moving fast. Money in the air like you really don't care. Oh yeah. We riding slow. Gotta watch this one be passed.
How many different genetics do you guys run in this facility, and how do you kind of manage, this is how many genetics we're gonna run of this type? Just give us your philosophy.
Right now, we're in this kind of like iterative pheno hunting program where every month we're popping seeds, and every month we're trying to select winners from those seeds. Today we're running, I would say probably like 32 stable production genetics. Hopefully the building is well equipped to operate 40 genetics. Of those 40, they all have kind of different levels of utility. Some are specifically grown and planted for solventless, some are grown for live resin, some are grown for flower, some are kind of triple threats.
People are looking very specific. Like, if it's not gonna have a loud nose, just don't grow it. We'll test out hopefully 100 phenos every month. That's kind of what our program is today. Let's get 100 different phenos of stuff going every single month and find what we find. We go months, we don't find anything. We had 3 or 4 months ago where we found 3 new winners. We work with one of the breeders in Arizona. So, Roundtable Genetics is in Arizona.
Yeah.
Art's been in the game for many years, absolute gentleman. We crack Seed Junkie. He's so consistent. I have a whole new plan to bring OG back.
Well, tell me a little bit about prickly pear.
It's just one of our genetics, and we pheno hunted it, and it's super flame, really solid. Like, this is really good smoke, and then the feedback matches. The banana cream cake jealousy, that's been with us forever. Tiki Madman, I'm sure you've heard that name we got that from him. And then we'll still grow some of the staples. People love GMO. Some of the genetics that you see, our Trop Cherry, people tell me it's just some of their favorite stuff. We're gonna continue to grow those. We'll keep our staples going.
Kirk, you mentioned that like 45% of the flower grown here is going to basically be processed in one shape or form.
Correct.
Has that been an evolution for you guys since you've been here in 2021 to 2025?
We like to say we brought rosin to Arizona, at least in the licensed market. Today, it's a cornerstone of what we do. I would say that if you grow for hash, you're basically covering all of your other bases. We hunt genetics specifically for solventless. We plant and clone them ahead of time. We built out a lab that we knew would be able to handle both the scale and the quality considerations, the nuances of kind of what it means to get to like a phenomenal oil.
Solventless is different, where you have to take steps from veg all the way through working with the plants and how you handle the plants, how you harvest the plants, and then how we process the plants. It has to be done really selectively every step of the way.
Let's talk about the life of a plant that goes through the Grow Science facility. Let's start from mother to prop to veg and even into flower. And I want to hear as many details as you can give us so you can tell us kind of what the Grow Science methodology is.
And a veg, moms and clones is like what came first, the chicken or the egg, So you're like, take strong mother plants to start everything off, and your clones have to be the foundation of your building. So strong genetics, healthy mother plants is what's gonna allow you to produce those strong clones to have your consistent results every time. Our mother plants here, they're alive for about 90 to 100 days total. We run more of like a tray or trellis style system rather than individual large moms, where we can trellis everything out, really spread out the canopies and allow ourselves to maximize as many main clone tops as we can per square foot. Mothers will live about 100 days. They get cloned off of about 3 cycles. About every 6 to 8 weeks is when we'll take clones off those strains.
Got it. And what are you feeding your mothers, and like what are they growing in?
So our mothers grow in a 5-gallon fabric pot of Canna loose fill cocoa. We've been doing that for years. We've tried a lot of different styles of cocoa for our mothers. We've always been on Canna cocoa, always had the consistent results, less plant shock, less nutrient issues, and really the roots just seem to love that medium.
We use Canna cocoa. We use it because of its buffering capacity and its drainage mainly. We've done side-by-sides with it in R&D with several different types of cocoa. We've done loose fill cocoa, we've done pre-filled cocoa, we've done compressed cocoa, and out of all the different types of cocoa that we've used, by and far Canna cocoa was the best one to get the results that we wanted. So the substrate uniformity is extremely important to us. As far as getting consistent results, that's really what we look for. Using Canna cocoa, the results just speak for themselves. We've never had such good veg health in this room.
In the last month, we've been trialing out the Canna root plugs with really great success. We see a lot more consistency in those.
The thing about the Canna plugs that we're really loving is that basically these are much more like rock wool, where you saturate them, you plug them, and you just kind of let them go. These cubes hold so much water and release it in such a nice, slow, controlled way that, even just a few days in, start opening the vents, maybe day 4, maybe day 5, we'll open them up all the way. It should still be able to hold this humidity in there and really keep the clones happy. For the strains that struggle more, for the strains that are woodier, older, more stressed, came off of an old mom, came off of a plant that was under a lot of stress from pests, those are the strains that we're really seeing the most improvements of this.
We're right about 16-day total time is they'll spend in propagation. From there, we'll move on to the veg room. Our veg room is a double stack LED room, but in that room, we'll transplant about 880 plants every other week and about 1,600 plants every week. So it's kind of on a dual week system there. So in there, they'll spend anywhere from 14 to 20 days in the vegetative room. Right now, we're just using Canna, AMB, Boost, Aptus Facilitator, and then CalMed. Do compost teas as well, which is like the only other special sauce that we give them.
We're using OG BioWars microbes with an amount of molasses and earthworm castings, and we do a 24-hour brew every week. For the first 5 weeks, all of the rooms will get this drenched with tea. Man, the plants respond amazing to it.
Do you guys measure out EC is during your watering phase for veg? Like, are you trying to match a perfect EC, or are you just paying attention to plant health? What are you guys doing?
Well, we work around our limitations. Right now, we just have one main batch tank for all our vegetative plants. So we need to have a feed that works well for young plants and works well for mature mothers. So really in that, we keep a consistent EC in that tank of about 1.6 to 1.7. And we really had to raise that based on what our plants were telling us.
What kind of environment do you like to keep in veg in terms of like CO2, humidity, temperature?
The sweatiest room in the building, as we call it.
Yeah.
So that room will run 81 to 82 degrees, and we'll run about 75% humidity in there as well. But in the room of that space with the double stacks, we'll get a big variance. If you're going multi-tier, it's all about airflow. You gotta have a lot of airflow. Airflow and ample dehumidification. We're coming in a flower room, we're trying to match the environment to veg as close as possible to reduce any environmental shock. We're coming in at a general light level that's not too much more intense than they are under veg lighting. In here, we'll come in at around 450 to 550 ppfd for the first day or two. We'll usually hit 800 to 900 ppfd by the end of cycle.
Okay.
If you're running high EC and you're punching the plants with lights and you're driving them to create a lot of biomass, you're gonna hit that goal. They're gonna produce the cannabinoid levels you want, but they're gonna miss out on a few things because you're driving them so hard to produce mass, you're missing out on some of those complex terpenoids and that little essence that gets quality from A grade to truly what you would call top shelf. And to get the exact terpene expressions out of every genetic, the only way we see that is by having less of a drive on their nutrient load. When we were driving them really hard, a lot of those complex terpenes were just left along the way, and we weren't getting that individual, unique smell of every single one of our strains. Switching to a lower EC feed, tailoring more to the plants and their needs, basing everything on plant health, gave us those unique terpenes that we wanted again.
Yeah, no kidding. So you guys have sacrificed by weight and yield for higher terpene, higher plant expression and quality.
Yeah. Sacrifice is an interesting word. Really we only want what we can put in a jar at the end of the day. We only want the highest quality flowers at the end of the day. It's not just about producing the most amount of biomass. We want every single thing that we produce to be as high quality as possible.
Yeah. One of the interesting things, you're one of the few commercial operations at scale that are growing under HPS lighting.
Well, Grow Science was really founded on the majority of OG genetics that we grew under single-ended HPS for a long time and then transitioned over to double-ended HPS. Matt and I have been growing for a long time and back then it was all single-ended HPS, and we really knew those bulbs, we knew the output, we knew what strains and how to grow them underneath there. LED, we all trialed them and we couldn't get the right results. Some strains loved it, some strains didn't. After trialing, a dozen different LEDs, we walked away from it, gave up on it, went back to HPS. Matt is a diehard natural light fan, a diehard gas bulb fan, and so we built this facility out to run such things. Matt wants to run more OGs in here, and in his opinion, our OGs always did better under HPS versus LED. We could get biomass, we could get cannabinoid numbers, but he said the nose was always off under LED versus HPS.
Well, let's touch base on the Canna side because, we found it fascinating that you guys are running Canna at this scale. So tell us a little bit more about what products you guys use from Canna for your plants.
Right now using Canna A and B, CalMag, Canna's PK, and then going in Boost really is helping clean our lines up. And we're worried that running Canna, we would have more clogging, more biofilm, more issues, which everyone told us you'd have. We realized that staying on top of our filter maintenance, cleaning our mesh filters way more often than we ever had before, and our lines are staying clean as long as we upkeep them every 9 weeks, 10 weeks. Well, the last key to this puzzle in implementing for our nutrients was getting Boost online. Boost was that secret sauce, but what it really does for us is helps our plants really break down and uptake nutrients, reduces a lot of nutrient stress, lockout, nutrient burn, kind of gets like an even keel facilitation of all those nutrients for the plant. And then really what we're seeing is just stronger aroma at the end of cycle. You could notice it, you'd open the door and the smell would hit you in the face stronger than it was weeks ago. And really that told us more than we needed to know. The flower itself has a greasier, oilier feeling to it. It's just, we're seeing a better resin production out of it too.
No, that's great. You guys have definitely helped design a new price point for Canna to interact with commercial growers at. And that was due to you guys and
That's
your
really
conversations
cool.
with
Cool.
Canna. And, we helped facilitate that with some background conversations where
Yeah.
you're a supplier for Canna. We're your supplier for trellis netting, for fabric pots, for all of this stuff. So it's amazing with how much business we do together, and I get to come here and see it all in action with you guys just absolutely crushing it.
Yeah, it's such a great collaboration.
Yeah.
And you know, we've been with you guys for like 5 years or so.
Yeah.
And so you've seen us grow, you've seen the changes. You guys help us succeed, and you get to come in and see this, and you're like, yeah, you guys are really killing it with this.
Yeah, you guys are absolutely crushing. Trevor, you're the IPM specialist.
I am.
So you make sure that all these plants are healthy so that this crop can actually go to customers.
I certainly try my best. Try my best.
Yeah, so as I understand it, you were chatting with Mike, you guys lean a lot on beneficial insects.
Absolutely.
But beneficial insects do not get rid of powdery mildew, botrytis, molds, things like that.
That's correct.
Tell me a little bit about your process aside from, beneficial insects.
Gotcha. So in terms of mold, the main thing we want to do is ensure that we have all the environment set where we need to do. Basically, you have these big swings in humidity, and that's where you get the microclimates where the PM spores can settle in. They're going to get into one thing, then they're going to spread through the whole room like wildfire, and it's going to decimate your crop. So it's very important that your environment is dialed in. From there, we have a lot of our plant technicians doing lollipop and default, very specific times to open up the airflow through the canopy to allow the microclimates to not form, so everything's more homogenized throughout the canopy. The next sort of cornerstone I would really say would sort of be our power pack. We do a mix of regalia, silica, CalMag. I use a myco-insecticide, PRF 97.
So what does the regalia do? Because I think that's interesting. So it's a preventative that you guys are using, right?
Yeah. So it's an extract from plants. It actually uses knotweed roots, and it has a lot of properties in there that'll basically trigger an immune response out of the plant. So it thinks it's under attack, but it's actually not. So it heightens its immunity response. It's able to fight off a lot. In addition to that, the regalia is able to transport itself through the leaves. Even if it's spread on the bottom, it can get up to the top. We'll call that translaminar properties, so it's able to kind of move through the tissue. That helps it be transported through, so even if you had your canopy stocked in a little bit too dense and your sprayer maybe didn't do a perfect job, it's still gonna get into the canopy because if it touches anything on the stem, you're good to go. You get immune boost, you get a direct fight against PM, you get something that's easier to apply, tank mixes with a lot of stuff. It kind of becomes a no-brainer at that point.
Yeah, that's awesome. So like with the regalia product, like when are you adding it? You add it in veg at all? You add it in flower?
Yeah.
And how often?
So veg will do it every single week. Sometimes twice a week in veg if we're in a situation where we want to make sure we're keeping everything clean, because luckily we've never seen PM in our veg room. And I think that has a lot to do with this constant spraying of regalia.
So Trevor, you guys also buy a lot of beneficial insects from us, and you work with our team like Mike, and you guys wrap on, whatever's clever with beneficial insects.
Yeah,
Tell us about
awesome.
that a little bit.
He's been a great asset to us, actually. He came through a few times, helped me. We sort of merged our brains together and kind of came up with a little bit of tweaks to our IPM program. He always is able to get everything I need on time, very quickly, very prompt. Some of these places are a little bit more tricky to deal with in the industry. Some vendors can be a little bit harder, but everything I've gotten from Growers House is just easy peasy. I love working with Mike.
So in the flowering rooms, at this stage, we'll use Carnea, a little bit more tolerant to the drier environment, but generally for the most part, our veg and the early flower rooms are getting Rufilabrus, and that's going to be the one that's a lot more tolerant of the high humidity. It's going to be a little more aggressive as well. So I'll get about 1,800 milliliters, 2,000 milliliters in a pitcher, and I'll do about 1 tablespoon per section. We'll do this the day after we do our azadirachtin drench, followed up with a mineral oil spritz. So now the next day we're going to come in, do a little chrysopa release. This is the most effective treatment against root aphids I found using legal products in cannabis.
You guys are growing in a way where you could totally be cultivating cannabis less expensively than you are right now.
Oh!
But you are choosing to grow in a way that costs more.
I do everything wrong.
Yeah.
This is the worst commercial grow ever.
How many employees?
We're about 108 right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst thing you can have in a business. Loose fill canna cocoa, it's the most expensive cocoa. The good fabric pots is the most expensive pot. Canna, Boost. Mm-hmm. We run Boost, which basically is liquid gold. But for us, that's what it takes to get the product across the finish line. We're happy. If you were to take the entire building, right, and take the canopy and you took the lights and it all went to dried flower in bulk, it'd be about 2,080 pounds a month. Mm-hmm. We produce live resin that eats up a large swath. We produce rosin that eats up a larger swath, and then our flower product, which eats up the largest swath. The biomass is not always dry, right? So you're doing fresh frozen for the live resin. You're doing even a different version of fresh frozen for rosin. They're harvested entirely different process. We vacuum seal one, the other one goes into totes. It's one's basically wet trimmed, the other one's not really touched. So, you know, we're about a 2,000 pound a month here. I mean, this is 1,600 lights. It's 25,600 square feet of canopy, but it's a no facility, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think every cannabis operator who builds a new facility says, you know what, we're gonna be growing quality, we're not focusing on volume. We're just gonna grow amazing cannabis, and that's how we're gonna succeed. So many of those people fail to grow great cannabis. They might grow very good cannabis, but to actually build a brand that is known for top quality cannabis.
I think what Arizona gets about Grow Sciences is it's theirs. I think that's why they hang in there with us. This is Arizona's company. When every California brand is moving in here, we're the ones, you know, sitting here. Thanks for coming. We were good. It's all good. We got this. Like, we're gonna put out fire.
The culture here is so unique and special. I mean, like, how do you guys cultivate that here?
I don't know, you just act as if. Yeah, I like, think you can't take yourself too seriously.
Michaela, talk to us about why all the lab testing is cooked in Arizona.
Oh, cooked? That's a dubious term.
How many people have you bought off in Arizona? Don't lie.
Almost all of them.
Thank you for that. You can proceed. All right, Walter. So you're the best looking person at Grow Sciences. How hard is it to carry that moniker?
Incredible.
I'm allowed to judge people who go to the gym. I don't think it's healthy. I think that in time, science is going to be like, think about it this way. I've said this to you guys. If you don't go to the gym and you don't work out, you can't get injured. Your response to that?
You can definitely get injured. You're probably more likely to get injured.
This is not a propaganda news network. We're going to talk facts here, okay?
I have to move for my job, otherwise these plants wouldn't be very happy.
You guys are working closely with the cultivation team for them to give you the output that is maybe best for you guys in this lab?
Yeah, absolutely. We're consistently working together to make sure that we have the best selections available. We have a specific rosin harvesting team. That's all they do is harvest for rosin. Every step of the way, like pretty much each genetic likes to be handled and treated a little bit differently. Sometimes towards the end of a life cycle, a plant will have necrotic leaves, or sometimes just more foliage in general. Harvest by hand, everything, you know, within an hour and a half of being taken down, it's frozen in the freezer. Once the material comes in frozen, we'll soak it and gently hand wash it and basically repeat that process sometimes 5, sometimes 6 times. Gently break off just the trichome glands and not get any of that plant material. So full melt hash or 6-star hash is just the isolated trichome glands. It's all fresh frozen material. And basically it's resin and trichome glands that are clean enough that it's only the resin gland itself. And it's clean enough where you can squish it between your fingers and it'll just essentially grease up on its own and look like a fresh press and have very minimal contamination.
So Brian, now making its way to your lab, which is the Hydrocarbon lab.
Yeah.
So this is a totally different process of extracting cannabis than what Eric's up to over here.
Yep.
So can you enlighten us a little bit about what you guys are up to?
So for us, freshness is key. Our whole lot in life is capturing that essence in a jar. So for us, when we harvest the material, within about a 30-minute window, that stuff is flash frozen. That material then is prepped into sock filters, giant sock filters, and then those are thrown into the extraction machine where we run really, really cold solvent over the cannabis material. Our job, unlike Eric's, is to dissolve all of the essential oils and all of the cannabinoids into the solvent. And then after that, we evaporate the solvent out and we're left with a really rich, sticky resin. We're not hunting trichome heads so much as Eric is. We're hunting oil content inside the cannabis is what we're after.
Mm-hmm. So some genetics are truly better as resin and some genetics are truly better as rosin.
Well, Brian, you've been generous enough to show us how to make trip sugar.
Yeah, let's do it, yeah.
Let's go.
All right, so first off, we start with crystallized THCA. Now, the difference here between our THCA and most of the other industry is this is all derived from high quality, fresh frozen, live cannabis material. We don't recrystallize, we don't use pentane, this is all just pure live resin. So for us to try to purify it any further is not in our interest. We want that smell, we want that aroma left behind. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna be combining a high terpene extract from the same exact batch. This material here is very rich in essential oils. This is concentrated essential oil of cannabis. So for us, there's 3 major quality indicators that we look for this product. First is color, especially in a bulk jar, we want it to be a nice light color. Second is viscosity. We want it to be nice and loose. We don't want it to be too thick. And the third one is gonna be clarity. The stuff should be very clear. All of those indicate a very high purity or high quality product. We take a very strong stance against color remediation, so CRC. We do not take part in any CRC at all. We believe that the original color remediation was using really good weed and running really cold. And that's it, it's that simple. When you use good, high quality, high genetic potential, freshly frozen cannabis, this is the result you get naturally. There is no need for color remediation. This is done. This is ready to jar up and ready to enjoy.
We've worked with Grow Sciences for probably 8 years at least. Way back when they started, we helped them launch the first rosin cartridge into the market, which was really exciting. It's funny because Matt and I go back to working in banking in the past. And then 3 years ago, I moved my family to Texas, was working for a cannabis packaging company at that time. 2 months into it, lost my job, got laid off, got the call from GS, get out of bed, start your own business, you got this. So I attribute a lot of our success and the reason why we started this company to Grow Sciences. And a lot of cannabis companies that I have worked for or seen throughout my time in the industry, you just saw a lot of people not doing the right thing, saying they could do things and didn't do it. We started in hardware first with C-Cell, and then went to a packaging company. We have a lot of clients that say, I like this device and this device, but I don't like this about this device. And that's something that we're really good at. Engineering products that maybe don't exist in the market, but might give our customers a competitive edge. So,
well, let's chat about the things that you guys make packaging for that are used in the cannabis industry.
Sure, any type of like vape device, so whether it's a cartridge, a battery, an AIO or disposable, any type of boxes, flower packaging, glass jars, concentrate jars, overpack boxes, so that's like what you would maybe deliver this in the dispensary, tins, pop tubes, glass tubes, anything that's packaged in there, we do that for the cannabis space.
I've purchased a lot of Grow Science stuff personally, and I've opened up those tins and like some of those extract packages, and they're really high end, custom stamped, GS logo.
Yes.
You open them up, there's crazy colors, there's even like a little card in.
Yes.
That it's experiential in a way. It's probably one of the nicest pieces of cannabis packaging that I've had the pleasure of using. Well, thank you, Heidi.
No problem.
You know, just so people know, Matt, Grow Sciences does not have a store. You guys are just a company that manufactures.
I don't have $12 million to buy a retail store, so no, we don't have one. I would have to have 5 or 6 Grow Sciences stores in order to move all of the material coming from here. If I had just one and I was calling it Grow Sciences, no one else would stock our product. They're just not going to prop up our brand like that. So you kind of have to pick a side. Our pathway is we are third party. We're in over 100 stores. I don't see that changing.
Very hard to get this grow at this stage, you know, at this size to be able to run almost like a home grow, but we're doing it. We have a strong team, the best team I've ever worked with, the people who've been in the industry for a year or 10 years, people who are here to learn, they're hungry. Everyone's passionate to work together for the same goal. We're excited for the results, and you know, everything clicks really well.
I think a lot of groups have been in this expansion mindset for so long. You get this departure from the fundamentals, you cut costs, and I think you lose sight of what the goal is. hey, if we don't have really optimized garden, a really optimized product from a quality standpoint, everything gets impacted.
I'll bleed for Arizona. Like, I love this place. Cannabis saved my life. I'm not gonna compromise it for anybody. You've gotta be ruthlessly honest and 100 miles an hour. You gotta pick a lane. And it's either, as an operator, you're gonna open and focus on quality, and that means you don't release the batches that don't hit. You take the hits, the risks. I do think that quality drives everything though. And I think you have to give people a reason to keep coming back. And for 2026 for us, all new flavors, all new rosin flavors. We have a 2 gram all-in-one live resin. It's gonna be a rebirth year. It's 48 hours later.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot's changed though.
In 48 hours since we started filming it?
Yeah, I think a lot's changed. I feel different as a person. You don't feel different?
2 days, hanging out at Grow Sciences. No, I had a lot of fun.
I feel different. I feel like I've grown as a person.
I'll give you guys. I gotta give you guys like an intro. Okay.
Yeah, we need an intro.
Presentable. No.
See how you
I don't know if you're ready.
facility. I don't.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I took some Dayquil this morning.
To bring the excitement.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Medicine to make you sleep during
It's
the day?
No, that's NyQuil.
Okay.
You know, Matt Blum has been growing for 90 years.
90
Edit
years.
that one out.
Handle.
Are swear words a problem?
Hey, Scott and Matt, up.
Kind of. Yeah, I think we got it.
I think we got it.
Yeah, see?
I didn't even my pants.
Right? I told you.
So my name's Vicente. I heard planes. How we doing?
Hey!
I'm trying to take you seriously.
I gotta get it like put around the thing.
Do it.
I don't know.
Marco's clearly a cool guy. He's gonna be 5 hours
Extra
into this
cool.
like you guys are dead to me.
Yeah.
Worst 2 people I've ever had to work with. Cut.
We're gonna turn the cameras and interview Marco at the end of this one.
That mustache right there. That's views. You're just gonna walk through the shot like that?
Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. We have to redo that handshake so I don't fall off my chair.